Hello, my dear friend. Thank you so much for joining me here on this training. If you're here because you are thinking about freelancing as a potential opportunity, an online business that might fit your skills and fit your desires, if you're looking for like a more flexible, something that you don't have to be chained to the computer all day, if you're looking for something that has a really high earning potential, I want you to know you're in the right place. That's what we're going to be talking about. If you are a freelancer and you're struggling with, gosh, how do I get better clients? How do I get more consistent clients? How do I land things like retainers? How do I attract, the people who aren't constantly trying to undercut my prices? How do I get off of Upwork? How do I get off of Freelancer and Fiverr and all these gig sites? You're in the right place. I'm going to teach you how to do that. And then if you already are a successful freelancer, but you found this thing where you've sort of started to realize, gosh, trading time for money isn't that fun anymore. I want some passive income. I want some flexible income. I'd like to be able to take a vacation from my business and my business not, fall to pieces. You also are in the right place. Basically, what I'm going to be doing for you here today is taking 10 years of my freelancing experience and compressing it into what I would tell my son if he came to me and said, Dad, I want to be a freelancer. These are the best, most critical core pieces to starting a successful online business. Now, as I promised, we're going to really hit the ground running. This is no fluff kind of training. I tried to curate the best from 10 years, so I want to make sure that we get into it. A really quick item of business. If you lose sight or sound on this training, please do not hesitate. Or, if you get kicked off the software, or something funky happens where you don't get to access or you don't get to see this entire training, please reach out to help@thenopantsproject.com. Our support staff, we want you to watch this, obviously, right? You signed up for it. You're taking time out of your day. We want to make sure that we get this to you however we can. So again, if something goes crazy, help@thenopantsproject.com. That's it, my friends. That's all the business. That's all the fluff that's going to be in this training. Let's get right to it. Grab your pen and paper. And the first thing we're going to do is I want to give you a preview of what these methods can do for you. Okay. It's important that you have a vision of what's possible. Very important disclaimer. The only thing, in my opinion, that matters is truth. And it matters to me because a lot of people are out there online right now making big promises. And a lot of people are buying into those promises. The problem is they only talk about the promises. They don't talk about the hard part. They don't talk about the things to watch out for. They don't talk about the reality of what it's going to take to get those promises. And so all these people are buying into these promises, and what do? They go out there and they realize, oh my gosh, this is kind of hard. Oh my gosh, this is more work than they said it was. Oh my gosh, this isn't an overnight push-button software, overnight riches. And then they start to say, well, maybe this online business thing isn't real. Maybe it's all a lie. Maybe it's all a scam. When in reality, what happened is that they just weren't told the truth. So my disclaimer is, and this is going to be throughout the entire presentation, everything that you're about to see is possible for you if, and it's a big if you're willing to put in the work. Nothing is going to fall from the sky if starting a business, running a business, owning a business is what you want to do. It's going to require work. Now, in my opinion, the work is enjoyable. The work is fulfilling. The work has led to some of my best friendships and connections, but it's important for you to understand. There are no rented Lamborghinis and no Airbnb mansions in this presentation. What I'm going to be sharing with you is the real deal. Real business, real clients, real humans working with other real humans. As a matter of fact, this is how real what I'm going to be sharing with you is. I heard a stat that by 2027, 50% of the workforce in the United States, by 2027, it's 2019 at the time of this recording, so 8 short years, 50% of all workers are going to be freelancers, whether they like it or not. That's the reality. So what that means is you can either get in on this now, well, it's easier, well, you have first mover advantage, well, there's more clients than there are freelancers, or you can wait years when you're forced to become a freelancer and it's going to be harder. There's a dose of reality. Okay, that's what, people aren't talking about that right now, but that's the reality of what's going on. Okay, so bear that in mind. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If that's not your style, if that's not your jam of how you like to learn, I do apologize, but that's just what I think is important. Okay, so here are some examples of what's possible with the methods I'm going to be teaching you. Here's some of my students. This is Thomas. When he and I first met, 3 weeks later, $7,500 in client work. Checked in with him not too long ago. He's now up to about between $10,000 and $14,000 per month as a freelancer. Justin Boyer, another freelance student of mine, had his first $10,000 month recently. He's been able to consistently maintain that over time as well. Here's Jared. You're going to meet him later. He's able to get a full-time 6-figure gig. So there's lots of different ways to do freelancing. You can have multiple clients or you can have one big client. And we'll talk a little bit about that in this training. Molly, I love Molly. She's awesome. She is a brand new mother. I'm talking like brand new mother. And she was out there landing $8,000 contracts like in a single day. She's a superwoman. She's awesome. Tina, and here's another sort of reality check. Tina started freelancing and she couldn't quite figure it out because there was so much life stuff going on. She had to take some time off from her business. And she's a student of mine. And when you're a student of mine, you're a student of mine for life. So she had to take some time off and she came back. And this is her post. She came back, tried it again, overcame the challenges, had the vision for what she wanted her life to be, and she didn't give up. She came back into our support community. She got the help that she needed, and she was billing 7,000 pounds, British pounds, with 3,000 pounds in the wings, ready to close for a 10,000 British pound per month business. This is Peter, another one of my very early students that I worked with now for several years. He's earning $1,000 a day. When I first met him, he was $50 per blog post for beer money in college, kind of freelancer, doing the Elance before it was Upwork kind of thing. 95% of his clients come from $10,000 per month client retainers. This is possible. It takes work, but it's possible. Now that he has all of these things up and running and his business is chugging along, he's no longer in the churn of trying to frantically get his business up and running. Now he takes time off with his wife and his child. They go sailing. He remodeled his basement. He has way too many fancy cars. I always make fun of him for it. This is what's possible for you. But more than just the money, freelancing also offers the opportunity for freedom and flexibility. Okay, freelancing and service providing as a business is one of the few sort of business ideas that allows you to have flexibility and control instead of being chained to your desk all day. There's a lot of online businesses out there that just require straight grind and hustle to make any money. 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And I know that because I've been involved with a lot of them, which I'll share with you here in a second, sort of my background. But this is Cecilia Clark, stay-at-home mom, 2 small children. $3,500 a month, and she's like, this is my dream business. Because of the flexibility. Because she doesn't need to work 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week to earn that money. Kaylee Green, a while ago, she went for a week and a half to go visit her family in 3 different states here in the United States. And she was able to take all of her freelancing business with her over that week and a half. Her income did not drop at all because she was able to just do it on the side while visiting family. It's important for you to think about what is it that you really want in life. Because with freelancing, it's like painting with a brush. It's not like these other businesses where you have to do it like this and be a machine and grind. Freelancing is pretty much a choose your own adventure. So if you're considering getting in this, or you're at the point where you're in your business, you're like, gosh, how do I design this business to be the business I want? Congratulations, you're in a business that allows you to do that nearly more than any other. Nina, another student of mine, when I met her, she was making $13 an hour as a freelancer. Now she earns $100 an hour. All we did is repackage one obscure element of her creative service, and she's now able to charge higher prices. I'm actually going to tell you the specific process that we used for her. What's really cool about Nina is that she's super focused on the flexibility aspect to the point where, so she's really into these adventure races things where she goes and does like the kayaking and the running in the woods, like all that really, really cool stuff. Her goal is to be disconnected from the internet as often as possible. And I think that's really, really cool to have the goal of having an online business while also trying to be disconnected as often as possible. That to me is lifestyle design, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. But also, again, beyond the money, beyond the flexibility, there's this thing, Cal Newport in his book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, he talks about job satisfaction. It's a really, really good book. I highly recommend that you go read it. one of the things that he talks about is it's not just like if you enjoy your job, but it's if you feel that your job is meaningful, it's that much more enjoyable. And these two amazing people who are students of mine as well, May and Megan, they had really big aspirations to work with certain types of companies. And when we started working together, we're like, let's go for it. Like, dream as big as you possibly can, because, you know, worst case scenario was the saying, shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon and you're landing among the stars or whatever it is, right? Basically, dream big and work for it. And what happens, it'll probably be better than you can possibly imagine. May was able to land the Society of London Theatres as a freelancing client. Megan, Netflix. She works with branding on their the Netflix shows. So everyone who's out there saying that there's no good clients out there for freelancing and the only people that you can work with are these cheapskates and local businesses, they just aren't doing freelancing right. You've got to stop listening to those people. There is a much better way to attract the kinds of clients that you would not just enjoy working with, but that you would find meaningful. Here's another example. This is Joshua. When he first met, when he and I first met, he was a top-rated freelancer on Upwork. Okay, so he was a writer on Upwork, had jumped through all the hoops that Upwork asked him to jump through, and at best he would get paid $300 a project. Okay, top-rated, winning contracts all the time. At best, $300 a project. I helped him get off of Upwork. That's like the first thing I recommend. Get off of Upwork, because the good clients are not on Upwork. So get off of Upwork, go find where the good clients are. For what he used to get paid $300, he now gets paid $5,000. What that means is he has peace of mind. What that means is he's not constantly looking over his shoulder trying to figure out where the next project is coming from. Now he's moved from desperately trying to get clients on Upwork and that whole proposal process to now he's learned how to say no. That's what we've been working on with him, because he has too much demand for his services. And I'm going to show you how to do that in today's training as well. Quick intro. I promise this is going to be short. This is the part where I'm supposed to brag and tell you how awesome I am. I don't really like doing that. Basically, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've won some awards. I've worked at really high levels. I really enjoy what I do. It allows me to be a dad, which I think is my biggest sort of reason for being a freelancer. Some clients I've worked with, Success Magazine, Mel Robbins, Tom Bilyeu, Darren Hardy, Russell Brunson. Actually, Tom Bilyeu, I don't know why I feel like I have to tell this story every time. One time I went to his house where he does his Impact Theory show in LA, and I got to meet his wife. And his wife is like, so first off, Tom Bilyeu is the real deal. He actually is who he says he is. The guy is intense, but his wife is like the coolest person that I've ever met. If not the coolest, at least top 10. She's amazing. Liz Benny, Mara Glazer, Google, John Maxwell, Brendan Burchard. Here's some photos. I'm not a very good photographer. That's not my superpower, of hanging out with Brendan and hanging out with Mel behind the scenes doing some film footage for stuff that we were going to throw out to a couple thousand people. The clients that my students have worked with, this is what I'm much more proud of. Netflix, as I told you, Theatres London, Kajabi, Mel Robbins. So sometimes I connect my students with people as well. The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Sony PlayStation, Russell Brunson as well, Google, Blizzard Games, and of course Oprah, which is amazing and awesome. And I'm actually quite jealous that one of my students is working with Oprah, because she is a well-connected person. And if you get hooked up with her, you are set for life. All right. So, what kind of life have I had as a freelancer, and why is that important? Again, I want to share with you, like, this weird idea that freelancing is all about race to the bottom, not making enough money. I've had clients fly me to Arizona, to Boston, to Seattle. I've had clients pay for me to drive up to Canada. One client of mine took me out to a Mario Batali restaurant on my birthday. They've paid for vacations in the woods. That's me with my kids on a cabin on a vacation. The clients pay. Like I said, there's a whole different world of freelancing and service providing. If you know how to attract those people, which I'm going to share with you here in a second, it really blurs the line between work and play. Right? And that, I think, is where most people should be, especially if they're a business owner, because, and here's sort of the truth, right? The reality, being a business owner is hard sometimes. You don't have a lot of, like, if you're an employee, you can show up to work and check out for the whole day, and guess what? You still get paid the same. If you're a business owner and you check out for like 3 months, it affects your bottom line. So, being able to have these kind of perks is really important. There's a reason so many freelancers burn out and quit. It's because they're working with clients that don't offer them stuff like this. But more importantly than all that, of course, is what freelancing has allowed me to do. I'm board of directors for Nikayla, raise money for Vogel Alcove, a wildland firefighter foundation. My freelancing business has allowed me to become a multiple-time best-selling fiction author under several pen names that are self-published. Some of you may have seen some of my content out there. I just share free stuff on how to do that. I don't charge anybody for that kind of stuff. But most importantly, I'm a father and I'm a husband. And that is ultimately what freelancing is about for me. So as you can see, here's some of the stuff that we've done. Here's some of the houses that we built in Central America. Now, obviously, it wasn't always this sunny and amazing. That's a reality check. It doesn't just fall from the sky. My education and experience is that I'm come from a very blue-collar family. I only had manual labor skills. I didn't go to college. At one point, I was homeless because I'd made some really dumb choices. And fortunately, freelancing was there to get me out of what was going to be a life of $12 an hour in a kitchen, working 80 hours a week as a sous chef somewhere. That's where I was headed. When I was homeless, the only way I could get out of that was to write articles online. That's how I started my freelancing business. Now, I did that, right? I started the traditional, I was doing the Elance thing before it was Upwork. I was doing that churn and burn style freelancing. And I was trying to live my life as well. It was really stressful because you never knew where the next project came from. So I got married, had a kid. And this whole time I'm churning and churning and churning and churning and churning. And I felt like I just was being robbed of these really exciting moments. Because I remember holding my son for the first time. And I remember that moment of absolute connection and absolute joy. And I remember, and I regret to say it, not 2 seconds later, instantly thinking, where's my next client project going to come from? In the hospital, when I should have been focused on my children, or my son at that time. I didn't have my second one yet. And that I think is again more important than the 6 figures, more important than any of this other stuff. And I'm telling you these things not to be like, oh, look at me, I'm this cool person. Or you have to think about this stuff. This is the reality check. What direction are you headed in your life? I know some of you listening to me right now, you have a traditional job and you feel the exact same way. I have full empathy for you. When you're stuck in this, you get a little bit of money and it's gone, and so you have to worry about where it's coming from. You get a little bit, it's gone, and it literally sucks the life out of living. I get it. I've been there. I have the regrets too. But I need to give you a warning, because what happened to me is I ignored that cycle. I thought it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. You know, I thought something was going to fall from the sky and we'd be saved and somehow it'd all fix itself. What happened? It didn't fix itself. And eventually, my wife and I, with my son, I'm highly embarrassed to share this story, got kicked out of our apartment. We were living in downtown Portland, got kicked out of our apartment because we couldn't make the payments on the rent. Because all of a sudden, all the client work dried up. Because I was doing freelancing the wrong way. I was doing it like everybody teaches you to do. Go to Upwork and hustle for your this and do one-off projects and all these silliness that people teach you how to do, which doesn't work. And by 2014, January 6th, I think it was around my birthday in December, which was December 13th, that we got kicked out. We had Christmas at my parents'. And you can imagine what that Christmas was like, right? I wouldn't call it Christmas. And homeless, jobless, carless. It was horrible. And I knew that in that house, I had this realization. It was like, I need to figure this out, or I need to just resolve to accept the fact that my life is going to be $13 an hour in a kitchen. And to somehow rationalize that in my brain. And I just wasn't willing to do that. So what did I do? I sat down and I created sort of a manifesto. I said, okay, look, here's what I believe is wrong with my business. Here's what I think is going wrong. And here's what I believe the solutions are to fix it. It's a very simple idea, and I need you to please, if you get nothing else, if you have to bail or whatever and do something else, take this away. There are three ideas that I had, which ended up being correct. One is, what I need to focus on is becoming so valuable that only the best, most respectful clients would ever work with me. Number two, I need to automate the client getting process to get myself out of the client getting process. I realized I was part of the problem. I'd have 3 bad days in a row, and guess what I wouldn't do on those bad days? I wouldn't try to go get clients. And when you build your business on the hustle, on having to constantly show up and churn, you have 3 bad days in a row, guess what happens? You don't get to eat next week. So I wanted to automate the client getting process so that I never had to hunt for clients again. I didn't look at that and a lot of people say, oh, well, you just got to get over yourself and just learn to hustle. No, I view that as a problem. I viewed that as something that needed to be solved. And then lastly, I needed sustainable, predictable, and leveraged income. I needed to make sure that if something ever happened again, when my next kid was born, when we needed to go on a vacation because we were feeling tired and burned out, if whatever it was I needed to be able to take a break from my business and the business not collapse. I needed to be able to make sure that I was making more money than just the money I earned from trading my time for dollars. So that was the very simple plan, and I put it into action. Those are the assumptions I made, and I went for it. 3 months later, this is March now, 2014, I made $2,388 from my copywriting service just that day. On Monday, I was at $1,227. Down here, I'm averaging $1,000 per day, which has been a long time goal for me. These 3 things, which I'm going to teach you how to do, took me from living with my parents, having lost everything, to $1,000 a day in 3 months. And it continues to work today. $5,000, $16,000, $8,000 invoices. Simple ideas applied over and over again are what create success. Not complex, convoluted hustle mindset. That doesn't work. Even the people who are out there preaching hustle, guess what? They have a huge team that makes sure that they don't. That's the part they don't tell you. That's the reality. If you're a freelancer and you're a solopreneur, meaning you're the only one that's doing it, you don't have a huge team, you have to be careful about what advice you take because it doesn't always apply to people who don't have huge teams. So, from this experience, I built a philosophy. All of my private clients get a printout of this that they hang up on their wall. I call it the 3 tenets of the no pants philosophy of freelancing. This is stuff that we ingrain in our students. Number 1, become so valuable to your fellow humans that clients automatically assume you're wildly expensive. That's your superpower. We're going to be talking about that today. 80-20 marketing. What's the least you can do to attract clients? And then only do that. Focus on automating it and remove chance from client getting. That's called our client getting faucet. And number 3, purposely build leverage and freedom through the mindful building of passive income. That's our freedom revenue, okay? So let's go through those 3 things. This is the core tenet of what makes a successful 6-figure per year freelancer who has freedom and flexibility and isn't in this constant churn and state of mind of just being constantly stressed out. Number 1, finding your superpower. Okay, remember, you have to become so valuable that your fellow humans, that clients automatically assume that you're very expensive. This is everything you need to know about the client-freelancer relationship. Here's how it works. It's called the price and flow dynamic. Step 1, clients will purchase your service for a price. Okay, we need to understand this before we can deconstruct it and show you how to find your superpower. Clients purchase your services for a price. Step 2, however much they pay you determines how much time and effort you can put into the project. So if a client doesn't pay you enough money, you don't have enough time to do a good job. And step 3 is when you deliver the results. And the results that you deliver are based off of whatever limitations there were because you weren't paid enough. Now, it's really, really important for you to understand that this is a cycle. When you turn in that project that you had to do last minute because you're busy all day hustling clients because your clients don't pay you enough, so you need to get more clients, and you're in this constant state of churn, when you hand that in, your client is what? Disappointed. And when they're disappointed, they don't want to purchase your services at a higher price. And you develop a reputation. And you get yourself stuck in this spot where you're constantly having to churn to do bad work, which makes you look like a bad freelancer, so you have to churn even more. This is the price and flow dynamic. The secret to getting out of this cycle is to build it backwards. Here's what I mean. Most people, when they go out to the market and they figure out what can I sell to people, they start at step one. They think, okay, client's going to purchase my service for a price. What is everybody else selling something for? They start with price. That's your number one mistake. This is why Upwork is horrible, because Upwork is all about price. It's a function of price. Everybody's trying to compete on price. The numbers are out in the open and everybody's talking about them, and that's what the clients use to judge who they should hire. When you reverse the price and flow dynamics and you make step one the results you desire to deliver, and you realize the better the results I deliver to somebody, the more I help someone, the more willing they will be to A, pay me more, and pay me again. And then when you build everything from there, so you say, here's what I'd like to deliver for people. Here's what I'd like to do for them. Here's the result I want to get them. Here's how much it's going to cost for me to be comfortable and not stressed and have enough time and be able to do a good job and actually deliver this result. Then it's just a matter of going out and finding the people who are willing to pay, which is actually fairly easy, and I'll show you that here in step two. Okay, so we haven't quite talked about finding your superpower yet. I just need you to understand this concept. What we're doing is we're focusing on the results. Let's ignore price for a second. If what we deliver is good, someone will pay because it's good. Therefore, the focus ought to be on making something good rather than focusing on how can I trick someone into paying more for something that isn't as good. That's a big mistake a lot of freelancers make. They're delivering the same thing that they've been delivering for a lower price, expecting to get paid a lot more for it. And that's the problem. You have to think about how can I deliver bigger, better results. So the big breakthrough here is that results are everything. So the first shift is you have to make a shift from what do I do? In other words, what do I sell? What things should I sell? To what results do I provide to someone? And those results can be anything. Those results can be I help someone have a breakthrough in their business mentally so they can overcome fear and hire a great big team. It could be that side of things. It could also be I help Netflix brand their shows so they can get in front of a lot of people. That's another side. I help people with traffic. I help people with... It's that shift from what I do to what results I provide. Second shift is how do I get better at delivering those results? How do I make the results more unique? How do I make my results better than everybody else? And the third shift is how do I make sure that I'm charging enough to protect my ability to deliver those results? Let me give you an example as a parent. When you become a parent, you're kind of like, okay, how do I convince my child that I'm a good parent and that I love them? That's the big concern. The first mistake that most people make is they think it's a strategy or a tactic. And just like most people when they start their business, they think, okay, the way to get good clients is it's some kind of strategy or some kind of tactic. The realization that most parents have is that the way you convince your child that you love them is you show it to them. So when my son is hungry, I feed him. I didn't try and convince him through flowery words. I didn't try to trick him into thinking that I loved him when he was hungry and I was like, oh, don't worry, I love you. I find out what he needs and I use multiple skills to deliver it as best as I can. you are probably already doing 95% of what would make a great freelancer. You probably already do it in your daily life. You use a lot of different skills to be a parent. You use a lot of different skills to help people. And you don't really worry about like how it's being presented or how am I, putting it in a certain light and all that sort of silly nonsense that people like to talk about, right? Okay, so now, that if we got our concept, we need to focus on how we help people. And we need to really like just hold off a second on marketing, hold off a second on price. Let's figure out how we can help people. Let's figure out how we can help people in a way where when they figure out and find out what it is that we do, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to hire this person right now, and I will pay them whatever it is that I need to pay them. How do we find this? Here's how it works. Every human being is in a state A to state B transition. Every single human, business or not. Here's what that means. Everyone they're living in some sort of state. So they're frustrated, they need help, they don't like something, they're scared of something, they're tired of not having a result, they're tired of not being where they want to be. They want the six-pack abs. They're tired of not having six-pack abs. They're embarrassed by their body, etc., etc. Okay? Everybody has a state A being. And every single person ever, at all times, is in some kind of state A where they want to move, they want to transform, they want to transfer into what's called state B, where whatever was frustrating them no longer frustrates them. They're happy, they got the result they want, they're happy that they made the investment, they're happy that they made the change, and they want even more results than that. Now, your job as a freelancer is to think about and figure out what is the state A of the people that I want to serve, and what is the state B that they desire, and how can I help them go from that place they don't want to be to the place that they do want to be? A business with no sales to a business with lots of sales. A person who is unhappy to a person who is happy. A person who's in an unfulfilled marriage to a person who's in a loving marriage. And what you do is you map out the steps to go from step A to state A to state B. So there's a couple things that they need to accomplish, right? So for example, you might want to be a six-figure freelancer. I would love to help you to do that. The way to do that is first, right? So your state A is you're not six-figure freelancing. Your state B is you're doing this awesome thing, you're running a business, you're loving it, you're making lots of money. For me, to help you, I had to identify the things you need to get there is 1, you need to find your superpower. 2, you need to automate your client getting. And 3, you need to leverage that income. That's how you get from where you're at right now, state A, to where you want to be, state B. So state A, you're overworked, you're unleveraged, you want to scale, get off the road, you're burnt out. This is for my freelancing business. Sorry. So this is for my freelancing business now. Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. This is what I help people like Mel Robbins do. Okay. So let me run Mel Robbins, for example. She's overworked, unleveraged. She is on the road 200 plus days per year because she does so many speeches. And to be frank, she's burning out, right? Like that would be very difficult. She's got kids, she's got a family, 200 days a year on the road. But she has to do that because that's how she keeps her business afloat. So what I do is I help her go from there to building digital courses that replaced her speaking income, help her have a bigger impact than ever before, help her to spend time with her family, and help her to love her business again. I help her go from state A to state B. Now how I do that specifically is I take all the information that she has, I put it into a little digital product, I then create a sales process to sell that digital product, and then I scale that sales process with paid advertising. You don't have to know what any of that is. That's what I do in my freelance business. Now, what that means is I'm using multiple passions, multiple interests, multiple parts of myself to deliver those steps, right? And this is the big breakthrough. A lot of freelancers go out and they say, I'm a writer, and they pigeonhole themselves into one tiny little thing. That's why they never get paid well. That's why they're always in a race to the bottom, because the good clients, the Netflix, the London Society of Theaters, or whatever, the Society of London Theaters, Mel Robbins, Tom Bilyeu, Success Magazine, they aren't looking for a writer. They're looking for someone to solve their problems. And the bigger the problem you can solve, the more you earn, and the longer they'll keep you around. Now, this is a great thing, in my opinion. It means you don't have to limit yourself to just one function as a human person. You can explore all of your multiple passions and combine them into something more. For example, to productize the information, I have to use instructional design, I have to use content creation, interview skills, technical writing, video editing to help her automate the sales process. I'm doing funnel building and copywriting, convert, and et cetera, and et cetera, et cetera. I get to combine multiple passions to create a better end result. I get to use my left brain and my right brain. In other words, I get to make a lot of money liking a lot of different things. And again, you may say, but Mike, I just want to be a writer. I just want to be a designer. I just want to be a one thing. My warning to you, again, this is the hard reality. I told you I wasn't going to sugarcoat this. If that's what you want to do, be prepared for things to get harder. Like I said before, by 2027, 50% of the American workforce is going to be freelance. The majority of those people will have had a pigeonholed job in traditional employment where they were just a designer or just a writer or just a this or just a that. They're going to be forced out into the market. And where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go for the same clients that you're trying to get. And the clients who are going to be happy that there's this sudden influx in talent everywhere are going to say, well, everybody calls themselves a writer. How can I tell which one is better? How can I tell which one I should hire? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to look at your price. Because they can't really tell. They're not writers themselves. They don't know the difference between writer A, B, C, and D. And so you have to transition out of this single mode mindset and realize that the bigger freelancers, the ones who are earning 6 figures a year, are solving bigger problems. That's how they're landing the better clients. Now, all I'm asking you is to give me a 70-30 mix of your multiple passions. So if you love to write, or you love to design, or you love to be a videographer, or you love photography, I want you to keep your business 70% that thing. If you love photography, 70% photography. Then mix 30% of your other passions. I'm not even asking you to do things you don't like. Other things you enjoy and you like helping people with into that mix. And that is your superpower. That's the business that will allow you to hit the high levels of solid, consistent, peaceful profits. The net outcome of applying this stuff, my first 2 years, I made $40,000 a year as a quote-unquote writer. When I switched to the model of solving multiple problems, $250,000 a year. And I've been on that track ever since. And it's because I'm solving bigger problems with more of my capacity. Here's another example of a student of mine. Her name is Sarah Jane Day, amazing human. She was a proofreader. She was reading soup cans for a living. She was a one thing. We worked together. Her very first contract, $11,000, she didn't do any marketing. Why? Because she was able to take the things she loved about proofreading, which was analyzing and looking at things, and combine it with other passions that she had, which was figuring out why people did stuff, looking at behavior. And she then went and helped a company to map out the customer journey on their websites so that they could figure out why people were buying things, why they weren't buying things, where was their website leading people in the wrong direction. And she didn't have to go get a certificate. She didn't have to go back to school for this. She already had the passion, the drive, and the interest to sit and fix that problem on behalf of other people. And the company's like, oh my gosh, we pay you $11,000. You figure out how to make our website sell way better, figure out what people are doing, why they're doing it. You use your analytical mind. That's an $11,000 investment we give to you. We get to keep that website and it will continue to make us money years and years down the road. That's a pretty dang good investment for us. Why? Because she solved a bigger problem than just proofreading. Now, please don't get this twisted. I'm not saying that proofreaders are bad people or that they're lesser than or they're not worth. I'm just saying this is the reality of the situation here. There are more proofreaders now than there ever have been in the entire history of the world, probably. certainly more writers, certainly more videographers, certainly more photographers, certainly more. Freelancing is becoming popular because, like I said, in a couple of years, half of the workforce is going to be doing it. So you have to start to think, how can I be different? Here's another one, Jody. When he and I first started working together, he was like a packing manager. So he kind of like oversaw a packing place, like you shipping containers and all that kind of good stuff, right? I don't really know exactly what it was, but he knew that he loved story, not putting boxes on shelves. But his experience as a packing manager allowed him to combine his love of story and the parts he did enjoy about picking things apart, systemizing them, making sure that everything went in the right place at the right time. And in 6 weeks of working together, the first 6 weeks that he and I worked together, he made more in those 6 weeks offering his service where he would work with people and their stories to figure out what's working, to figure out what's not working. Not developmental editing. This was stories for like brands and companies, and it's a really, really cool service that he offers. Within 6 weeks, he was able to earn more than he had made in the previous 6 months at his job. Why? Because he raised the level of the problem that he solved. Here's another one, Thomas. You've seen him already. He's one of our 6-figure freelancers. He's really, really awesome. 3 weeks it took him to go from struggling as a freelancer to 6 figures. How he did it is, Thomas is one of those people where he just has a lot of interests, a lot of talents. He's down to do anything for people. He enjoys helping people. And we kind of had to be like, okay, well, let's package this into the biggest bang for your buck. And he offers this really cool service where he will take people and build out an entire lead generation process for them. So he doesn't come in, I'm just a traffic person, I'm just a copywriter, I'm just I'm just a page builder. He does the whole deal. A company pays him, just him. He deals with it, and that's why he has multiple retainers for multiple thousands of dollars, and he earns 6 figures a year. Raising the level of the problems that he solves. So anyway, here's some screenshots. $6,000 in recurring revenue and a one-time $9,000 is typically what he charges. Client getting faucet. Okay, so we got our superpower. We're sort of thinking that through. Obviously, you need to think this through, right? Spend some time looking at what you use. If you become a student of mine, we have a whole process that we help you go through. It does take work. That's the reality of it. It's not going to fall from the sky. It's not going to be an epiphany. You have to sit down and list the things and figure out, but that's what you need to do. Okay, you need to figure out what your superpower is. You need to raise the level of the problems that you solve. Once you figure that out, then you build what's called a client getting faucet. This is where you remove chance from your business and you 80-20. So you only focus on the minimum that's required, and then you build out that process. Okay, so there are 3 keys to automated client getting. Okay, there's only 3 things you need to get clients. You need their attention. Okay, if they don't know who you are, they're not going to buy anything from you. So you need their attention. Number 2, you need something to offer, so something to give them, or something to sell to them, and then you need a way to agree on terms and to collect payment. Everyone who tells you that client getting is more than those 3 things is probably trying to sell you an overcomplicated 57-step funnel gyration machine, or whatever they're trying to sell you, the next bright, shiny object. You only need those 3 things. You can apply these 3 things to everything. You go stand on a sidewalk, get the attention of people by dressing up in a hot dog costume and running around. And as long as you have something to offer someone who says, what the heck are you doing? You have a client getting machine. Is it an effective one? No. Is it one that you'll be able to like look your kids in the face later? Probably not, right? So that's not the best way to do it, but it can be applied to social media. It can be applied to email. It can be applied to sending things in the mail. It's just these 3 things though. So let me give you an example of how to apply this, and then we'll talk about some other examples. Okay, I just want to show you how fluid this is. And the reason I want to show you how fluid this is because your client getting faucet looks different than mine, period. Your client getting faucet, the way you get attention, the way that you work with people, the way that you connect with them should be unique to you. Not because it needs to be unique, meaning how you get attention needs to be different than how I get attention in the same way that a superpower needs to be different than everybody else's superpower. But because A good client getting faucet ought to be a natural extension of who you already are. If you're an extrovert, go be an extrovert. If you're an introvert, go be an introvert. If you like writing, write your way to get clients. If you like making videos, video your way to getting clients. If you like to draw pictures to get clients. If you don't like to do any of those things, figure out whatever it is for you. 3 simple things: attention, something to offer, and a way to collect the money. Let me give you a Facebook Live formula. This is an example from a week of Facebook Lives that we did. 6.9 thousand. This costs $0. Okay? The basic version, I'll show you an advanced version where you can spend like $5, $10 a day. But 6.9 thousand minutes viewed in a week. That's a lot of people watching a lot of content. And they'll, once they have your attention, they're going to want to talk to you. So remember this. So state A to state B. This is a driving force through our client getting faucet. We know that there are people who have problems, and we know where they want to go, and we know how to solve those problems for them. So let's say you go on Facebook, you're going to make a video. What are you going to say in that video on Facebook Live that will turn somebody who watches it into a client? Right? You just flap around and just ramble on? No, there's actually a specific thing that you need to say. So let me give you an example. So remember, in my example for you, meaning in this business where I'm talking to you right now as the No Pants Project, not my freelancing business, this business here, there are 3 things that you need to do if you want to become a 6-figure freelancer. Superpower, automated client getting, and leveraged income. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos talking about those 3 things. Why? Because those are the 3 things you need. Those are the 3 things you want to hear about. That's the path for you to go from state A to state B. And so what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to say, I might make a video on 3 books to read that will make you more valuable in the marketplace. Short little 5-minute video. Hey guys, I was reading these 5 things. Here's this one, here's this one, here's this one. Anyways, really thought you might enjoy it. One of my mentors says, if you want people to believe that you can help them, help them. That's the point of the attention that I'm trying to get from you if I were to do this Facebook Live thing, trying to attract you as a client. I might do a video on how to stop the Upwork addiction and replace manual outreach with automated client getting. You watch that video, you watch some of my other videos, what are you going to think about me? You're going to think, I think this guy can help me. I watch this stuff and light bulbs, I think this person can help me. Here's a quick video script if you want it. Just say who you are. Hi, my name is Mike Shreeve. I help people who want to start a 6-figure freelancing business. I'm going to teach you how to blah, blah, blah. And here's why. The reason why you need to blah, blah, blah is because blah, blah, blah. I'm going to teach you now, blah, blah, step 1, da, 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 da. Anyway, so now that you've just learned blah, 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 if you'd like me to actually help you to achieve this, just shoot me a message here on Facebook. I love working with people like you. I love working with people wanting to start a freelancing business to help them get X, Y, and Z. That's it. You do this consistently enough, and people, good people, will come to you. Why? Because they will see you as somebody who can solve a big problem that they have. Just go live from you can go live from your phone, you can go live from your desktop. If you want to get clients faster, you just boost it. Very simple to do on Facebook. Just click the boost button, $5, $10 a day. You can see you can get in front of 14,000 people per day for just a couple bucks. We've done this a couple of times with the Mike Shreeve Work Smarter brand, which is, you may have actually seen some of our videos, which is, you may have actually come through a video to be here today. 200,000 people reached, 192,000 views, shared 80 times. I mean, this stuff, you get in front of that many people and, you know, the odds are in your favor that you're making money. You've removed chance. The problem with a place like Upwork, here's the big problem with Upwork. You submit one proposal to one job. If it doesn't work, it's a 0 out of 0 win. Right? So, if you don't get it, you don't get any other benefit. There was no residual benefit of you applying to that job. You do something like this, and even if out of the 192,000, if 191,999 people say no, I still got that one. And 191,999 people know my name. So there's residual benefit even when people say no. This is what we did with Mel Robbins. Go watch her coffee talk that she does. It's just her on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or whatever they're doing these days. So what if I don't want to be on camera? Well, welcome to the club. I don't want to be on camera either, and I don't think you should be if you don't want to be. Nothing is worse than making a marketing video where you look like a hostage with deer in the headlights and you hate your life while you're trying to talk about helping people. So don't do it. It took me 9 years before I finally got on camera. If that's not your style, then don't do it. Like I said, your client getting faucet should be your client getting faucet. Look at your cell phone though. Your cell phone is a gateway to people all over the world. You could get a LinkedIn app, you could get a Facebook app, you could get all of those apps. You can get something like Hootsuite that connects to all those apps. Maybe you just type little posts that help people. Again, you're trying to help people who are on the path from state A to state B. What are you helping them with? I don't know. 7 ways to lose that belly fat from drinking too much soda. I'm talking to myself here. Drinking too much soda. 7 ways to quit soda. Okay, maybe you help people go from state A to state, get healthy. Maybe you help lawyers get more leads. 7 ways local attorneys can get more leads. Type it on your phone, bada, post, go about your life. Okay? You can post written content, you can post images, you can post your artwork. Just put something up. Maybe instead of a video, you do Anchor.fm. Anchor.fm, I love that. I'm kind of addicted to it right now. You may not know this, but we have a podcast up. At the time of this recording, we have more than 50 hours of podcast material on there. All I'm doing is helping people like you. Because I want you to become a student of mine. I want you to become a client of mine. I'm not just doing it for the attention for the sake of attention. I'm doing it to show that I can help the people that I say I can help. That I can help them solve big problems like building a 6-figure business. Don't want to do podcasts? That's fine too. You don't have to. None of this is a have to. Doing something is better than nothing. So do the thing that's right for you. If you're introvert, be introvert. If you're extrovert, be extrovert. If you want to write long stuff, write long stuff. If you want to write short stuff, write short stuff. If you want to post pictures of your graphic design, say, hey, look, this is what I made today. Fantastic. There are people on Instagram who have millions of followers. That's all they do. They just post their artwork. The point is that consistent attention equals consistent clients. It's an attention game. That's really the key. Now, you might say, okay, Mike, fine, but I don't even want to be on social media. And I get that also. Here's a challenge. Go find my freelancing business on social media. You won't. And that's because here's how I get my clients for my freelancing business, not the No Pants Project business, where I teach people how to be freelancers, but my actual freelancing business, the one where I work with Mel and all those guys. This is the ultimate 80-20 client getting. I take a Facebook ad. I spend $5 to $10 a day. On that Facebook ad, I tell people to give me their email in exchange for a simple PDF, which could be something like a case study of the clients that I've worked with, or something simple like the a spreadsheet checklist for making sure you lose 10 pounds in the next month or whatever, or some kind of spreadsheet tool for better, how to balance your books better or something like that if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper who wants to help companies. And then I send via email helpful content fairly frequently. Why? Because I want their attention. I never have to do social media. Most people never see my emails. I can be a very quiet and reserved person. It took me 10 years before I ever started the No Pants Project because I'm just naturally an introvert. So for 10 years, I was making 6 figures a year by doing this, spending about $300 to $400 a month on Facebook ads. Ultimate leverage. I set it up one time, never had to touch it again. Some of my ads were running for 2.5 years, 3 years at a time before I ever had to do anything with them. Now you think about what a Facebook ad can do. It can get in front of thousands and thousands of people for just a couple of dollars. So you're getting the attention in an automated way rather than a manual way, which is what social media is. So my students, when I work with them, I try to get them to this point as fast as possible. And you say, well, what do you put in your emails? The same thing that you would put in your social media posts. helpful content. You're not pounding them every day with buy, 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 buy. You're sending them information that says, hey, here's something helpful. Do you see now how I can solve your problems? If you'd like, I'd love to solve your problems. Hit reply and we'll do business together. That's the process. It's very simple. Very, very simple. It doesn't automatically happen, but it's simple. Now, here's why everything I just said works, okay? Let's deconstruct everything so that you're fully on board with at least the idea of it. One, humans are frequency machines. There's something called imprinting, which you may be aware of, which is basically we love people that we see a lot. That's just how our brain was wired. And so if you get someone's attention often, they will trust you. It's why Upwork doesn't really work. It's strangers applying to jobs with other strangers. People who have never met, who know nothing about whether or not you can help them, reading your application and making a judgment based on price. That's the situation you have to get out of. Instead, understand this is how humans work, and use it to your advantage. When you go around and you know sort of bigger, like famous people, or people in the industry that you might be in, you kind of know their names, there's something in there that makes you trust them. Even though there's no real reason you should trust them, you don't actually know them, but because you see them all the time, because their name keeps coming up. That's imprinting. Here's something else to know. Most people aren't going to buy from you at first. Let me be brutally honest. I want you to become a student of mine. I know that most of you listening to this probably aren't going to become a student of mine the very first time I ask you to become a student of mine. Maybe you might later. Right? If you follow me enough, if you see if I'm the person who can help you, and you see, like, gosh, that's a good investment, I think he's actually going to be the person who can help me, and it makes sense to invest. What a lot of people don't realize is that brand is actually transactional. Meaning you build a brand by being in front of people all the time and helping them. The brand you build is, oh, that's the person who's very helpful. That brand is the one that gets the big projects. Because when people are spending money on stuff, they're scared. They're as scared to give you money as you are to give it to them. So they want to know, can I trust this person when I give them a lot of money? Are they going to solve our big problem? Are they capable of solving our big problem? You also get to weed out all the wrong people, because when you share how you help people who don't want that help, they get to know before you ever have to get on the phone with them, before you ever have to talk to them. And, of course, building a business of small, simple habits, it's, I don't like to do these like all night, stay up 24 hours. I don't like building businesses that way. I like to build businesses slow, smooth, calm. There's a really cool saying from the world of special forces. It's slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I really, really like that. If you want to become a six-figure freelancer, it's not about like, what's the biggest home run I can hit in the next 24 hours? It's what are the small, simple habits I can do every day? They shouldn't take all day. It's small, simple habits over time. And last, of course, email is still the number one marketing channel. The DMA of the UK says that for every $1 invested in email, $40 comes out. That's why I prefer, again, to move people to this as soon as possible when I'm working with them. So, the question is, are you willing to help people for 20 minutes a day to have all the clients you need? If you can answer yes to that, then you have a very real possibility of building a client getting faucet that will generate the kind of attention and attraction and the people who like you enough to spend the big money with you consistently over time, and to respect you enough as a freelancer, as a service provider, not to disrespect you, not to ask you to do something at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not all the problems that a lot of freelancers struggle with are eradicated when you help people in advance. If you're on this right now thinking to yourself, okay, I'm a freelancer, what's wrong in my business? Why can't I attract the big clients? Ask yourself, how much time do you spend helping someone before you ask them for money? And that will typically, and I don't mean per person, I mean, how much of your week is spent just going out and helping people with content, with a social media post, with a podcast, with a email list that you send helpful emails to? If the answer is 0, well, that's probably why. You're only attracting the clients who are frankly desperate, instead of attracting the clients who prefer to work with people they believe that can help them. And if you're just new thinking about starting out as a freelancer, ask yourself, do you want to get into the business where you get paid a lot of money to help people? Because that's a critical component of making this business work. If you like that, and you're like, gosh, I'm actually kind of good at helping people, I enjoy sharing information, I enjoy teaching people, you're going to have an unfair advantage in a marketplace where everyone just wants to take. You're going to be standing out like a sore thumb saying, hey, here's something helpful, here's something helpful, here's something helpful. Let me solve your big problems. That's just the reality. I told you that I'm only going to tell you the truth. The truth is most people are just out there to take. And clients get tired of it. They see past all the tricks. If you want to stand out like a sore thumb these days, help. And if you want people to believe you can help them, then help them. So here's some examples of some of my students who applied this method. This is Deb. You're going to meet her again later. She spent $0 on advertising. She had 2 monthly retainer clients in just 5 days. All she did was help. She contacted a few people, said, how can I help you? It is that simple when you have the right superpower in place and you are able to approach marketing yourself from a standpoint of helping. Here's another example, Deborah. When she first came to me, she was the absolute matriarch of her family, holding it all together. And what's really cool about her is that she was able, with illnesses in her family and problems in her family and just life being life, she was able to sit down, and while she was a very busy accountant as well, full-time accountant, take everything that I've shared with you so far, and she combined it into, in less than 4 months, she was able to quit her job, make more than she was earning as a full-time accountant in those 4 months, and reduce her workload to 20 hours a week. She replaced all of that income with monthly retainers. So, for those of you who don't know, a monthly retainer is they pay you each month instead of paying you in big projects. Typically, you sign a contract for like 6 months of they're going to guarantee to pay you a certain amount every month. Reduces a ton of financial stress. And then because she had all this free time, she was able to then go spend time and energy with her husband, with her 16-year-old granddaughter, and she was able to take care of the things that were important because how she made her income wasn't taking over her entire life. And all she did, found her superpower, and took this client-getting faucet approach to getting those clients. Megan, I mentioned that we were going to meet her again. She was a freelancer for 12 years before she and I started working together. For 12 years, it was all side hustle, so she could never quit her job. What made the difference was superpower and getting out there and helping first. And that's how she landed Netflix. That's how she landed 4 what I call premium buyer clients, which are the higher end clients, in her first 30 days. So for 12 years, she couldn't quite figure out the freelancing code. 30 days of us working together, she was full-time. Meaning not working her day job anymore. All right, so now let's talk about one of my favorite things. It's called leveraged income. This is how to get paid without working. This is where the financial freedom piece really, really matters. So so one of the things is when you own your own business, you get to design the income. You get to decide how you make your money, where it comes from, how much you make, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for it all, right? Again, we should start calling these hashtag true facts or something like that. The reality of the situation is you get to decide how much you make. Now, you have to be willing to implement the things that are required to make that money, but at the end of the day, it's a design that you get to be involved in. There's 3 types. There's basic, advanced, and freedom. So the basic, let me break it down how that looks from a business structure. Let's say that your goal is $10,000 a month. Let's say that you get 5 total clients and those clients pay you about $50 an hour. In order for you to hit your goal of $10,000 a month, you're going to have to work 50 hours a week, 4 weeks a month. Which, for a lot of people, making $10,000 a month from home, not having a boss, and, they would be happy with 50 hours a week. Oh my gosh. Monday through Friday, 10 hours a day, still get the weekend off or whatever, right? For a lot of people, that's great. In my opinion, that's basic. If that's good for you, that's fine. I think that you would be selling yourself short. Let's say that you decide to do the advanced income design. Same goal, $10,000 a month, 5 total clients, an hourly wage of $50 an hour. Now you add something called a dessert offering, which we'll talk about here in a second about what a dessert offering is specifically. But you just add this one leveraged opportunity, which is something that makes you money, but you don't have to put a lot of input in. Again, I'll explain it here in a second. Just by adding that, an extra $800 per month per client, by purposely designing how you earn your money, you've gone from working 50 hours a week, 4 weeks a month, so 50 hours a week every week, to 30 hours a week every week, or, and this is where things start to get interesting, as a freelancer and your desire to have flexible lifestyle. Remember, we talked about Nina being able to disconnect, and Kaylee being able to travel around 3 states in 2 weeks, or in a week and a half. Because when you start adding this stuff, now you're only working 40 hours a week, 3 weeks a month. So now it's possible, because you've added this leveraged income into your business, to have more control over your work schedule. More control over your ability to take time off. I'm hoping that you're having a light bulb here in understanding, regardless of where you're at in your journey as a freelancer or service provider, that ultimately it comes down to income design that ultimately determines what your lifestyle is like. So with superpowers and client getting faucets, we're getting our clients, they're higher end clients, that part is cool, but that isn't enough to be able to design your lifestyle. You still have to be smart and implement these other strategies. Okay, so that's advanced. Now let's talk about freedom. This is how I run my freelancing business, and when I work with my students, this is where I try to take them as quickly as possible. The goal is still $10,000 a month, 5 total clients, $50 an hour. We're not even charging really that much. I know that sounds crazy, like $50 an hour isn't that much. Typically, we try to baseline around $100 an hour, but let's just say $50 an hour. We've added that dessert offering, which I'll explain in a second, and now we've added more leveraged income, package knowledge specifically, which again I'll talk about in a second, $100 a day in sales. Okay? I'll tell you how to do that, but we're just talking about math right now. $100 a day in sales. Now we've gone from 50 hours a week every single week to 15 hours per week every single week, or, and this is my preference, 30 hours per week, 2 weeks per month. Typically what I do is I do every other week working for my clients. Now, sometimes I might have, like, let's say, for example, I'll work a week and then the client's like, hey, do you have time for an hour phone call the next week? Yeah, I mean, that happens. I'm not going to be like so hard-nosed about everything and you can't ever talk to me ever. But in general, my lifestyle from my freelancing business is such that I can take every other week off from that business, which is why I'm able to have the No Pants Project, which is the business that you're interacting with right now. It's why I'm able to also write fiction. It's not because I'm working 90 hours a week in my freelancing business and 90 hours a week in No Pants and 90 hours a week in my fiction business. It's because I believe in, I follow, and I love income design. Little strategies like this can make a huge difference. 50 hours a week every week to 30 hours a week every other week. Now, allow me to be slightly personal with you here for a second. If you remember, I talked about being able to hold my son for the first time and the regret that came with thinking about work 2 seconds later. Now, maybe this isn't the right thing, but one of the real vision reasons why I've been so obsessed with this income design concept is because I always wanted to make sure that I could spend the time with my children and my wife that was, in my mind, the regret-free kind of time. I'm not saying this very well, but basically, when it's our week off, I'll sleep in a tent in the backyard with my son. When it's our week off, we'll pull the kids out of school and go do something. When it's my week off, I can sit and play video games with my son and play the little Bandicoot race kart, whatever it is that we're playing at the moment, Sonic Racing or whatever it is. And I love that people are super excited. Oh my gosh, I could have time off and, I could just kick my feet up and do nothing. But I personally prefer to fill that time with important things. So anyways, total side note. I don't know if that is even helpful to anybody, but it's important to think about why you're designing your business a certain way so that it fits within your lifestyle. My students and I have this saying that we kind of remind each other of, which is to build a business around your life instead of trying to put your life into a business, whether it's your business or somebody else's business. And it's through this very specific and well thought out process. And I'm not saying that, I'm well thought out but when you do it for yourself, it will be something that you sit down and purposefully plan. This doesn't happen by accident. This is how you establish that flexibility that you're looking for. This is how you're able to take time off. And, we can actually just jump to it right now. I want to talk to you now about the leveraged income strategies, because some of these strategies require some work and some don't require any work after you've set it up. So for those of you who are freelancing and you're like, okay, all this sounds good. Yeah, I get it. I need to do my superpower. I'll probably work on that. I need to get my client getting faucet, but I really came here because I want to learn how to make passive income. I want to learn how to get paid without working. These are the different strategies that will allow you to use leveraged income opportunities. So let's go ahead and talk about those now. Strategy number 1 is called package knowledge. Here's how simple package knowledge is. The things that you do for clients, so the problems that you solve for them, instead of doing it for them, you create a online course, very short. It can be written or it can be video. And you teach what you would do for them. So if you like to make logos for people, you would teach someone how to do a logo. Then you sell that from where? Your email list. Okay, so remember how I talked about my favorite thing to do for my students is to get them to build that email list, that 80-20 client getting faucet? This is one of the reasons why. Because they can take the thing that they do for people and say, look, if you can't afford me doing it for you at the done for you level, meaning hiring me to build you a logo or to create a logo, that's how much I know about design, create for you a logo, then you say, well, if you can't afford me, then here's a way for you to do it yourself. And you can sell it for all sorts of different prices, depending on how long it is, depending on what's included, depending on what has templates and checklists, and etc. Here's an example. One of my favorite people in the entire world. I want to be Deb when I grow up. When she first came to us, Deb was, she's an American expat living in Norway. She sings opera professionally, but it's not necessarily enough for her to meet her income goals. So she's like, I'm going to be a freelancer. She starts freelancing. She realizes she enjoys some clients, but very few, but she needs more income. And so we really focused on, okay, what are you doing for clients? And can you package it up into a nice little course and sell it? And she's like, I don't know, let's try it. She was building her email list and so she did it. And all of a sudden, she started making all these sales of her package knowledge. This little course that teaches her or teaches people what she does for them to them. Okay. And all of a sudden, she's like, you know what, Mike, I'm making about $3,000 a month from this package knowledge. Do I have to keep doing the done for you stuff? She's basically like, do I still have to do client work? I was like, no, you don't. If you're making sales of this and people are buying it and you're building your email list, you can 100% shift out of done for you services. If that's the income level you want, that's fine. And that's all she wanted, $3,000 a month. Why? She was already singing opera full time. She didn't need to, she loves singing opera. Who wouldn't love singing opera in Norway? That's amazing. But she didn't want to replace that. She just wanted to supplement. And so why not supplement with a passive income stream? And so here you go. $3,000 a month break-even offer. We call it, it's a BEO. It's something that we talk about our students. I don't want to go too into detail here. But you can see she was just selling it for $7, $14, and she was making $3,000 a month. Excuse me, sorry about that. It seems like my voice is fading here. Hope you're still with me. But she was on her way, so she's making $3,000 a month, and as you can see here, she's thinking about adding a second package knowledge. This time she's going to sell it for $97, and she's saying, and maybe that'll get me closer to that $10,000 per month mark. That's entirely passive income. It started with, okay, let's go full circle. It started with her discovering her superpower. Who can I help to go from state A to state B? When you figure that out, what you're able to then do is be fluid about how you help those people. You can help them by doing it for them, or you can help them by teaching them how to help themselves. Or there's probably other ways. There's like coaching and consulting. There's all different ways that you can help people go from state A to state B. The point is, the superpower is the foundation. Figuring out who you can help and how you can help them. Here's another example. Here's Megan again. She's awesome. This is the one who works for, one of her clients is Netflix. I just want you to see her enthusiasm here. From making a $17 sale to her email list, and she didn't have to do anything for it. It's literally just $17 in free money. I can tell you for a fact that, and like I told Megan, passive income will change your life. It literally changes the way that you see the world. Now, we could have a long discussion about this, but I just want you to think very, very briefly. How is it that some people are able to make so much more than everybody else? They have the same 24 hours in a day. There's lots of different ways. Some people have really, really big teams. Some people figure out how to turn money into more money in and of itself. Okay? That's essentially what passive income is all about, and the package knowledge specifically, because you're getting out there and you're turning the attention that you're getting, and attention you're getting because you're telling people that you can help them, and you're turning that into sales of a product that you don't even have to fulfill on. And what I mean by fulfill is you don't have to do anything. Once you build it one time, and you can sell it again and again and again. And you're helping people. Maybe they can't afford to hire you, or maybe they don't want to hire you. They just want to learn how to do it. Well, if you can solve a problem, you can teach them how to solve a problem. Okay, so that was one of the leveraged income strategies. It's package knowledge. This is called royalties. So this is a dessert that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so this is Jared. I told you we were going to meet him again. When he first came to me as a student, he was about to be a father. You can tell I have a soft spot for families. I think, there's so many people out there who are just killing themselves in the world of income, and they're doing it for their families, but ironically, they're not able to actually spend time with their families. So I'm very passionate about helping those people. I'm passionate about helping everybody, but especially those people have a soft spot in my heart because of my own story. But Jared came to me, and he was like, look, I know that I'm going to be a first-time dad. I know that I don't know how hard it's going to be, and I'm really nervous that when the kid comes, my freelancing business is going to go down the tubes. And I was like, yeah, probably actually. Having that first kid is really is an eye-opener for sure. And so we worked together and we helped him to negotiate what's called a royalty contract with one of his clients. What a royalty contract is, very, very simple. Basically, you do work one time, and because the work you do generates so much additional growth for a company, they pay you a percentage of the growth. So when we're talking about superpowers, for those of you who are like, I want to help someone at the maximum level, you will very likely look at royalties as part of your fee structure. So you get paid up front, say you get paid $10,000 to do something. Maybe it's to help people set up a lead generation system or help people to build a webinar, help people to do whatever. And then you tack on sliding scale royalties, which are monthly or quarterly payments based off of the improvement in sales and revenue that you generated for somebody. Now, obviously, we're already about an hour into this, so I don't have time to go super into detail how to structure royalties out of it. But when I work with students, this is something that we look at depending on what their superpower is. Now, can you structure royalties if you help people to lose weight? Well, no, because you're not really helping them to grow their business. So that's why we have multiple different pathways for our students to take in order for them to figure out which of their what's their income design pathway, what's the best way for them to get what they're looking for. Okay, strategy number 3 is called passion work. Now this is, in my opinion, leveraged work because what it allows you to do is not worry about money and do things just for fun. And when you can do passion projects just for fun and you have that leverage, it often opens up doors that you'll never be able to get otherwise. I remember, so I took about a year of college. And I remember looking at this idea that you had to go get an internship. And I was so struggling financially in college. I mean, it was horrible. Like, because I was going to college while I had my freelancing business and while I was married. And so it was a mess, right? It was just really bad financially, really distracting. Didn't do great in school. That's why I only went for a year. When I remember looking at the internship and I remember thinking, working for free? There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. How can I go to school, work the job I'm working, and work for free? And so many really cool opportunities require something like that. Or there's this thing where you have to like create a body of work before you can go. Like for fiction, for example. I was able to do fiction for so long because I didn't have to worry whether it made money or not. So I was able to sit down and do it for fun, do it the right way, do it with passion, because my freelancing business was paying the bills and paying the bills really well, but also in a way that allowed me to have the flexibility. And so all of a sudden my fiction takes off like fiction does take off after you build up a big body of work, but I didn't have to worry about it. And so that's what strategy 3 passion work is. So this is Alex. First thing we did is we got his business down to 10 hours per week. Then he got a monthly retainer contract to build 3D Lego models. And he didn't get paid a lot for it, but that was his passion. And so because of that, it opened up other projects. And one of the projects that he was able to open up based around this passion of his of 3D modeling and Legos paid off 3 months of his expenses and helped him to move into a new home. This is what I mean by leverage. It's saying, okay, my main freelancing business pays the bills. And it's still fun. I still like it. It's still enjoyable. But the reason that I'm doing it, I'm purposefully designing my business, this is income design, so that I can pursue these other passions. And you can see here. So he was able to become a professional game developer. And then he was also able to do $3,000 a month worth of 3D voxel editing. I don't even know what that is, but that's for the Lego company, right? So, but it was because his core business was making him he was paying all his bills, but he only had to work 10 hours a week. Okay. So this is another one, Greg. I consider Greg a dear friend. I've known him for many years and feel very privileged to have helped him in his freelancing business. He was a commercial real estate guy for 25 years, but he knew he was creative. He always wanted to write fiction. And that's sort of our connections, that we're both really into fiction. I told him, I was like, look, what you need to do is get out of your day job because it's really hard to work 50 hours a week and come home and write fiction. And he's like, yeah, but I don't know how to do that. So what I did is I took him and I said, look, let's make sure that you're writing in your business so that you exercise that muscle, you get paid to exercise it. And what we did is we built a business where he earns $150 an hour writing in the real estate market. Now, he's not just a writer. He solves bigger problems, but again, the 70-30 mix, a lot of what he does is writing plus 30% of other stuff with his real estate background and his experience. And he went from working all day to not working a lot. There was one point I was like, Greg, you might want to work a little bit more. But and he now spends all of his time on fiction. So much so that he has a TV option. So somebody's may turn his books into a TV deal. He is also invited to speak at multiple conferences around the world to talk about fiction, and he's starting to make a really good living and royalties from his fiction. He was able to do that and have all these opportunities because he was able to get a business that was making him $150 an hour, which means he didn't have to work 50 hours a week. He could have, if that was his goal. If his goal was just to make a bunch of money. His goal wasn't to make a bunch of money. His goal was to have a business where he could leverage that to pursue his passion projects. I hope you're seeing here what the role of a freelancing business can be in your life, right? It's not just, well, let's just give ourselves another job. Might as well keep the job you have, right? Because you have it right now, and you're getting paid, and it's probably every week, and you can show up and not care really, and nobody really gets in trouble. You don't get fired. You still get paid, right? So if you have a purpose for your business and you have dreams bigger than just making money, freelancing is the thing that can get you to where you want to go. Okay. So lots of storytelling, lots of really good ideas. Let me recap this whole process. Remember, these are the 3 tenets of the No Pants Project philosophy of freelancing. We've applied these now to literally hundreds of students. I've been doing it now for 10 years, and we have lots and lots of success stories. So this stuff works, okay? This is not just proven from one guy who's randomly doing it. This has been refined and proven with lots and lots of people. To be profitable, you must create sustainability through proper pricing. In other words, you have to become so valuable to other people that they are willing to pay your higher prices, which gives you the room to be able to do the things you need to do. That's through your superpower. Client getting should be easy and natural, and it must be automated enough to create more demand than you have supply of time, so that you can say no, so that you can choose, be more picky about who you're working with, and so that you don't have to worry about where's your next client coming from. And then lastly, leveraged income is where freedom is found. It's in the income design. There's no 59-step funnel that's going to get you to freedom. It's in purposeful design of how your business functions in relation to your superpower and your client getting faucet. Now, I would love very much to help you, because what I've shown you is the exact system that I personally used to create my 6-figure income. It's the same system that I've used. We now have taught this to more than 700 freelancers, and it's the same system that all of the success stories that you've seen here today in this presentation have used. If you'd like me to help you to implement everything that we've gone over, I would love to. I would legitimately and honestly feel honored to be able to help you. So I'd like to tell you about an offer that I have for people like you who are new to our business. It's a very special offer, and I'm going to tell it to you, real deal, reality, hype-free. There's not going to be any crazy. Hopefully by now you know I'm just very okay, here's the deal. Do you want it? Yes or no? And that's sort of how I work, okay? So we have something called the No Pants Project Coaching Program. It is right now the #1 coaching program for starting, growing, and scaling your own freelance or service-based business. Okay, so everything that we've been talking about, we have a coaching program to help you to implement. So what we're going to do as we work together in this program is I'm going to help you to find your superpower. You're going to get very specific on that. You're going to get feedback on it. I'm going to help you to create your best-selling offers. So these are the offers that people look at and they're like, oh my gosh, you must be very expensive and you must solve really big problems. I'd love to hire you. And you build these offers around all sorts of cool things, like how one offer is connected to another. So when somebody buys one, they want to buy the other and the other and the other and the other, so that you never have to go and constantly be getting new clients. You can have the same clients who are paying you over and over again for all sorts of different cool things. We'll also be helping you with your package knowledge and things like that. #3, we'll help you to create clear messaging around those offers. So if you don't know what to say, how to sell them, what to say what to call them, what to say to strangers when they want to buy from you, how to sell them, what to say to attract people to what it is that you're trying to offer. #4, we will help you build an automated client getting system that works for you specifically. If you're an extrovert, we will emphasize your extrovertism. If you're an introvert, we will help to shelter you, because to be frank, a lot of us are introverts in the world of freelancing, and so we totally get you. You're totally in good hands with us, and we'll help you to build an automated client getting system that will allow you to have constant clients coming in, so you don't have to constantly be looking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make money? How am I going to pay my rent this next month? Number 5 is we're going to add those leverage income opportunities. We're going to help you to purposefully design your business from an income standpoint so that you can take advantage of whatever flexibility and lifestyle requirements that you desire. And then, of course, number 6, we're going to help you to mindfully scale towards peaceful profits. We want to help you to maximize the money that you earn without running you into the ground. I've been there. That's a whole nother story for another day about how I burnt myself out many, many years ago, how miserable it was. I would never want to be responsible for running someone into that scenario. It's very, very bad. Bad for your health, bad for everything. So we are very big on mindfulness in saying, why are we doing this? What's the goal? What's the why? What's the vision? How are we going to make sure that this fits in with our lifestyle balance? Now, I keep saying we when in referencing this coaching program, and the reason is because I'm not the only person who will be there inside the program helping you. I actually have an entire team of people who will carry you through this process to a successful freelance business. And I have to tell you, this is probably what I'm most proud of with the No Pants Project is this team of amazing people. You may recognize some of them. So the way that our coaching works is that we take some of our best students who have gone through the program, who are living the 3 tenets of the No Pants philosophy of freelancing, who have achieved incredible results, and who have achieved them recently. Right? It's one thing to learn from somebody who did it many, many years ago. It's something else to learn from somebody who just went through that experience like 2 months ago, a year ago, whatever. And we will elevate people who do well in our program to coaching status. And I pay them very, very well. And they'll be there to answer your questions, to help you through the process, to connect you with people, to give you feedback, to help you define your superpower. So Deb Law, for example, she's our head coach. Her expertise is in getting high-end clients. She had a 20-plus year career in the world of professional Silicon Valley out there in San Francisco, and she brings to the plate that experience plus the fact that she's freelancing at a very high level right now and has been for about 1.5 years, 2 years. She works with very big names and very big industries, and she's very, very well connected. She is very competent. She makes me want to up my game. Let me put it that way. So Deb is amazing. She's one of the coaches in the program. Peter, of course, I consider Peter my friend. He's a New Yorker. I'm on the West Coast. We always tease each other about it. He is an absolute genius. And what I mean by that is when I personally love to just sit and listen to him talk. Like the guy has insights. As I mentioned here, his weekly Q&As are some of the most popular inside of our coaching program. You can ask him any question you want. I pay him to be there to support you inside of our group. And they all get paid very, very well. So I'll just put that out there because I'm the one who has to pay him. Nina, she's there for tech. Oh, by the way, Peter is our business growth expert, which means anybody who's looking to increase their income, like the revenue part, this guy has 100 ideas for you on how to do it, and he will help to make sure that you implement them. So if 6 figures is your goal, he can show you a very fast path to get there. And on occasion, he has been known to do his Q&As from the sailboat, so which is a lot of fun. All right, Nina, she's our tech wizard, and she's also our digital nomad expert. Like I said, I admire how she's been able to structure her business and her life around being disconnected and running her business in a very, very flexible and fluid way. She's also an amazing tech person. So for those of you who are like, gosh, I really want to have an online business, but I'm afraid of the tech, Nina is a very approachable. She's an introvert like a lot of us, so she's very approachable. She's very kind. She will walk you through any tech issues. And I have to tell you, as a freelancer, we don't really deal with that much tech. So Nina, honestly, for the most part, she helps with other areas for most of her coaching, but she is our resident tech expert. So we have someone, and then she's also very good at helping people to sort of figure out the flexibility. Trish is really interesting because she was a COO, so she was in a C-level leadership position, and then she became a freelancer. And she is performing at a very high level. She went through our program. She more than tripled her income from transitioning from a COO to freelancing. So for those of you who know what COO salaries are. And she is really, really good at copywriting. So helping you to know what to say to make a sale. And her mindset stuff is incredible. She has a thing about her that will allow, like, she helps people unlock themselves, basically. She's very, 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 very good at that, and we love having her in the program. This is Jessica. Jessica and I work together a lot because she's actually, not only was she a student and then became a coach, but I loved her so much as a coach that I've actually hired her on as our content director for the No Pants project. So she's a freelancer for the No Pants, as well as being a freelancer, as well as being our coach. She's an awesome stay-at-home mom. She helped her husband buy a house by freelancing because she's like, we just need to buy this house. I want it. She's so awesome. Her expertise is actually in getting clients very quickly. So not only is she going to be able to help you if you decide to do social media posting or if you decide to send out emails, what to say, what kind of things attract clients, like how do you use content marketing to get clients, but she's also there to help with the fast client getting bonus, which I'm going to be sharing here with you in a second. But she's very expert on like getting people clients within like 3, 4, 5 days of starting the program. That's her area of expertise and where she helps a lot. And then Delisha, we call her D. She is a powerhouse. She is good at everything. She is not only a freelancer, she works in the world sort of higher end real estate and helping those people with all sorts of different things. She solves very big problems. So she's very, very good at traffic. That's one of the things she's very good at. So getting attention, getting eyeballs onto your stuff. She's also incredibly experienced and gifted at the nomad lifestyle. So what do I mean by nomad lifestyle? When I first met Dee, when she first came into the program, she was one of the very first students of the No Pants coaching program. Her and her husband were traveling around doing charity work in an RV with her and her children. So she was living that life, and they started living that life, and they're sort of like, in retrospect, they're like, we should probably figure out how to pay for this. And so she joined the No Pants project. We helped her get some clients really quick, and that's what she did for many, many years. Well, I don't know if it was many, many years, probably like 2 years maybe? It's not many, many years, but for a while, her and her family went around on this RV, and so she has really good insights on how to, if you're interested in doing that kind of thing, how do you run a business, take care of your family, and live in an RV and travel everywhere. So she's really, really competent in those areas. She also, so aside from being a coach, aside from running aside from doing things for real estate, that whole world, as a freelancer, she also is a freelancer, freelancing as our growth director here in the No Pants Project. So again, she is very current because one of the things we love to do at the No Pants Project is just test and experiment. So she's always playing with things and lots of insights there on what's working now. And then of course there's me, right? So I'll be there to answer questions. There's lots of different ways that we do that. We'll answer your questions in Facebook groups, and we have Q&As and all sorts of different ways that we will answer your questions and make sure that you get. This isn't like a typical Facebook group where you join it and the person says, I'll answer your questions, and they never show up. I pay my coaches, and we have a rule that every single question must be answered by at least 2 coaches. Every single question. So, I mean, this is like some real hands-on type stuff. Plus we have Q&As and all sorts of different things like that. Okay, now, so the coaching part is very, very important. The other important part is the curriculum that we use to get you from what? State A to state B. From not having a successful freelancing business to having a freelancing business that you love and that's enjoyable and that's flexible and it's making the income that you're looking for. So this is the proven curriculum. And I call it proven because, like I said, we put 700 people through this. We've tested it and tweaked it and improved it. And this is based off the 3 tenets of the No Pants philosophy. So the first module is we're going to set up our foundations. We're going to figure out why, right? Because the why matters. If you want a certain income and you want to earn it a certain way, you need to solve certain problems as your superpower. So we need to figure out what is it that you want, your lifestyle and your business foundations. Then in module 2, we're going to, once we know those things, once we know your goals, we're going to start building your superpower, right? We're going to figure it out. We're going to help you to figure it out. We're going to run you through exercises, and we're going to give you feedback from the coaches. For the perfect client attraction, this is where we start to build our client getting faucet. This is where we figure out who it is that you're going to be serving, what they need to hear from you in order to be attracted to you, what their state A and state B is. Most importantly, I'm going to teach you how to avoid the scam artists and the abusive clients and the cheapskates, and there's all sorts of, we're going to help to protect you and keep you on the path to a peaceful profit-based business. Module 4, it's called the red carpet strategy. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to treat your clients? How are you going to collect payment? How are you going to make sure that what you offer is better than anything that anyone else has ever offered? But also, how are you going to set up boundaries? How are you going to make sure that the clients you work with don't take over your life? How are you going to make sure that they pay on time? How are you going to make sure they pay what you ask? That's what we're going to talk about in Module 4. Module 5, we're going to create an asset called a lighthouse. Remember when I talked about I want to get you to that 80-20 client getting as fast as possible? Sure, you want to do social media? Awesome, we'll help you do that. You want to do Facebook videos? We'll do that as well. But ultimately, what I want to get you to as quickly as possible is building that email list. The first asset, the first thing you have to create in order to have an email list is something that we call a lighthouse. I'm going to show you how to build one, how to create one. We're going to help you to do it. We even have like templates for you, and we have like copy and paste like pages, and like we have the whole thing for you just to get it done and just get it out there and start collecting emails. But we want to make sure that you build it in a way that it attracts the best people for you and your business. Number 6, module number 6, that's when we turn it all on. We start to automate those client sales. So this is going to be partially about teaching you how to automate the sales process, meaning how to get people to pre-sell themselves before they even try to work with you, but also how to automatically sell some of that package knowledge, right? Number 7, we're going to turn on the faucet. We're going to take what's working and we're going to grow it. We're going to scale it. We're going to take it from maybe you get like one client inquiry, so somebody wanting to work with you once a week. We want it to be like once or twice a day, okay? That's where you're turning on the faucet, scaling things, growing them in a peaceful, calm, collected, well-designed, engineered way. But Module 7 is about getting that really going so that you can meet whatever income goals you're looking for. Module 8, package knowledge. We have a whole entire module on it because, in my opinion, it's the best. Of all of the different leveraged incomes, it's the thing that if you're just like, look, I just want to make sure that I'm making money when I'm not working, I want to be able to take vacations, this is what I recommend that you do. We'll teach you how to make a $97 product, plus how to do some other things, how to sell it, what it should be, what it should look like, and we'll get you on to that point where maybe you might be like Deb Knutson and thinking, do I still want to do client work or not? That's a good place to be. All right, Module 9, this is the referral machine. We have an entire module dedicated to referrals. We didn't really talk about it here, but one of the best growth engines for a freelance business is getting to a point where you don't actually have to do you don't have to do your client getting faucet anymore because you have so many referrals coming in. Now, obviously, I'd recommend you still do your client getting faucet because why wouldn't you want to sell packaged knowledge if it's all automated? But the referral machine is sort of one of the secret ways of minimizing risk, which is to say, when you have a referral network and a client getting faucet, I mean, that's when you wake up and you don't really have any stress in terms of where's my next client coming at all. The internet could explode, but if you have the referral machine, you have these people that are referring you client work, you'll always have work, right? So another one of our philosophies is to build in redundancies. So to build in protections against protections against protections. I'm not interested in teaching you how to be a freelancer who is stressed all the time. I want you to have a business that has a built-in safety net in so many different ways. Module 10, no work upsells. So this is another form of leveraged income. We didn't even really get to talk about that much on our training today. This is where it's kind of like a dessert, sort of, but it contains different things that we build out. So, for example, maybe potential partnerships, maybe potential software application, all sorts of different things that allow you to add value to clients without having to do work, okay? So, again, we'll talk about that in Module 10. Module 11, this is for those of you who maybe do want a big team, or maybe you do want to scale beyond just 6 figures. So if you want to get to the 7-figure level, or at least high 6 figures, so you have $50 to $60 to $70 to $80,000 a month, this is Module 11 will teach you how to do that, how to take what it is you do and build out a team to do it for you so that your job is just to oversee the team and you have lots and lots of clients. And so that's an option for you. It's something that I've done. I don't currently do it, but I did it in the past. And then we have some of our coaches who are experts in the agency model as well. It's a good thing to consider. And then, of course, Perfect Productivity Module 12. One of the big secrets to having a lot of free time is making sure that you don't waste the time that you're working. Additionally, we want to make sure that you're healthy physically, mentally, and we just want to make sure that you're in a good spot. Again, business is not impossible and it's not difficult, but it isn't easy either. You have to adopt a certain mindset. You have to be willing to do more than the bare minimum. And so Module 12 is all about helping you through that process, helping you to become a business owner, again, so that you can have a very successful business and have very low stress while you do it. It's so important to me. Stress, I mean, all you have to do is go read the book, something like by Dr. Matt Walker, Why We Sleep. Go read that book, and then you'll see why stress is so bad, why I'm so anti-stress. Okay, so we also have a few other tools to help you earn back the cost of this course. My goal is, when you join the program, for you to be one of those clients, or one of our clients, one of our students, who gets clients within the first week or two that pays back the price of this program. That's a very specific business goal. We'll actually tell you why that's a good thing in the program. We'll teach you how to build out offers that pay for themselves so that people will buy from you more and more. That's one of the strategies we implement. So some of the tools that we're going to give you to be able to help you to do that is, of course, the Fast Client Getting bonus, the Fast Client Getting workshop bonus. This is where you use entirely free methods. It could be LinkedIn. It could be a Gmail. We have a couple of different strategies for you. Jessica's going to help you to get clients very, very fast. We've had students get clients within 24 hours, 72 hours. Just to give you an idea of how fast this works, this is David. He's one of our students. He was able to get, when you convert it to American dollars, about $8,000 per month in retainer work from scratch to closed retainer deals, meaning they're paying him every single month for the foreseeable future, in about 30 days, using just the Fast Client Getting workshop. All free methods. So 0 to darn close to $10,000 a month in just 30 days. Now, it's funny, if you look at here, he says, there's only one thing I'm wondering now, after this works so well, Michael, he's talking to me, would you still recommend building a Client Getting faucet? He literally built his business so fast with Fast Client Getting workshop, he's like, do I even need to do the rest of this program? Now, of course, I was like, no, David, go do that. You'll want that in place so you can do your package knowledge. But I thought that was funny. Anyways, little inside jokes with myself, I guess. All right. Bonus number 2, the 5-day challenge. This is something that Deb used when she first was as part of our program. And now she's a real big proponent of. And it's really, really good for people who have good connections. And when I mean good connections, I mean, if you're an extrovert, this thing works like a charm. It still works if you're an introvert. Please don't get me wrong. But if you are an extrovert, this thing, Deb, who I don't even think Deb necessarily calls herself an extrovert, but she was able to land 2 monthly retainers. I think each of them were about $2,500 a month in about 5 days with this challenge. Okay. So this is not an uncommon result for this particular bonus. Now, you're going to get lifetime access to everything that I've talked about. The coaches, the training, the bonuses. There's no monthly fee. There's no end date. We're not going to kick you out. Like I said, when you're a student of mine, you're a student of mine for life. I'm not into that kicking out thing that a lot of people do just to get more money from you. We're just a helpful program that helps people get results. That's it. We're not promising overnight riches. You haven't seen a single Lamborghini. You haven't seen a single Airbnb mansion. I'm not promising you huge, massive amounts of money. All I'm saying is that we have a program and we're very, very good at helping people who want to start a freelancing business to get started and to grow and to scale. So if this sounds like something that would help you, here's what to do next. If you go to the nopantsproject.com/start, we are, for the next couple of days, I believe it's 6 days, running a 50% off deal for people who are new or haven't bought this or something else from us, okay? So normally, we sell this for $3,000. Now, there's a lot of people online who say, Normally, we sell it for $5,000, but they don't actually ever sell it for what they're saying. They're just giving you their regular price. We are, as of today, like as of probably while you're listening to this, someone bought for $3,000 the coaching program. Okay? Because you've watched this training, because you signed up through this process, because you're new to our business, we are offering a 6-day deal at 50% off for just $1,495. Now that's lifetime access to all the coaches. That's following the process and having those coaches walk you through the curriculum that I've shared with you, plus it's access to those bonuses. All you have to do is go to nopansproject.com/start. If you need to talk to someone on a phone before you make this purchase, there is a phone number on that page when you go to nopansproject.com/start to have a chat with one of our representatives to see if this is a good fit for you. Okay? So it's very, very clear. At the end of this, I think it's like 5 or 6 day promotion that we're running at 50% off. At the end, you can still buy this program, but it will be $3,000. That's not a trick. That's not a joke. That's not a false promise. You can buy it at $3,000, but if you're thinking about doing it, I highly recommend that you get in now at the $1,495 price. Now, if you purchase before midnight tonight, I'd like to give you what's called our No Pants Accelerated Package. Now, this is something that we normally sell for $1,000. And again, I'm not just saying that we actually do sell it for $1,000. You may see it for sale in other places. What it is 90 days of accountability coaching and one-on-one calls. So you're going to have 4 calls spaced out over 90 days with not just a bunch of different coaches in a group, but with your own dedicated accountability coach. Plus, you're going to get some training that only people in the accelerated program get, which the whole purpose of this accelerated program is literally just speed. It's to help you to get to whatever your goals are faster. And so we have special training for that, and you're going to get the one-on-one calls with our accountability coach. This is highly, highly helpful if you are new to starting a business, to have someone there for you to help you to go through this whole process and to have it for 3 months. So if you get inside the coaching program before midnight tonight, so if you make your purchase now, go to nopansproject.com/start and you order before midnight, you will get this for free, and it's normally $1,000. Also, this purchase is backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. You try the program for 30 days, you document your progress, and you do the homework, and if you don't like your results, for any reason, you get a full refund. All I ask is that you give it a try. That's all I ask. Just give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, cool, no harm, no foul. If I can't help you, then that's our freelancing philosophy. I only want to work with people I can help. So if I can't help you, I don't want your money. Like, that's not how I do business. That's not how I was raised. That's not what I believe in. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who would do that. That's not me. Do I lose money by having this kind of guarantee and having that philosophy of I only want to take your money if I can help you? Probably. But I also sleep pretty good at night. So, I mean, it's a decent trade-off for me, okay? The nopansproject.com/start is how you can get started. But beyond all of that stuff that we've already talked about, coaches and curriculum and the 2 bonuses for getting clients quickly, and the midnight bonus, the accelerated stuff that you can get if you order before midnight tonight, we also have some other stuff for you. So, for those of you who are thinking, I really want to freelance, but I seriously have no idea what skills I could potentially offer, we have several mini courses within the program to help give you big problem-solving skills. Okay? And they range from, if you like graphic design type stuff, there's some skills you can use there. If you're analytically minded, we have some skills that we can teach you there. If you like writing, there's some skills that we can teach you there. If you have no idea what you want to do, we can help you choose from the mini courses. And many of these are very quick to pick up and learn too. That's very, very important. Okay, so that's a bonus that we'll be handing off for you. And then, of course, the perfect proposal. This is what I use to sell between $5,000 and $10,000 packages. So it's a very important piece for those higher-end clients. I'm going to give it to you. Very simple. You just copy and paste it. Just use my proposals. No big deal. Not really too much to talk about there. It's just a really, really good proposal that lands big clients. For those of you who have never gotten a client before, we have special training within the program as a bonus to help you get clients even if you're brand new and you've never closed a deal. I understand how nerve-wracking that can be. Again, I want this to be a smooth and stress-free process for you so that you can just get the results that you're looking for. And so we're trying to give you all the tools that we possibly can. Perfect discovery call script. Some of you may want to close your sales on the phone. And so having a script that I use, it's the exact script that I've used to close more than $1 million in deals for myself as a freelancer over the past 10 years. It's been refined over all that time. Just follow it. When I say script and when I say discovery call, the way that we approach it is we pretend that we're doctors. So our sales process is not aggressive. Our sales script is more like a bunch of questions that you ask someone to figure out what pain they have. So again, it's along with everything else we do in the No Pants, it's non-pressure, it's non-hypey, it's non-salesy. It's about serving and helping people. And then if they're interested, they will buy from you and how you can walk them into that sale. Okay. We also have something called the No Pants Academy, which is a program we used to sell a long time ago. You had to pay a monthly fee back when we used to do monthly fees. We don't do that anymore. And we have all these really, really great trainings from people who are lawyers and accountants and healthcare specialists. Because here's the deal. I'm not a lawyer. Neither are our coaches. They're not accountants. They're not healthcare specialists. So what we did is we went out and found the best lawyers and the best accountants and the best healthcare specialists. And we asked them, what should our freelancers do? What's the best way to structure your taxes? What's the best way to structure your business? What's the best healthcare? And we did it for the United States, we did it for Canada, and we did it for the United Kingdom. So there's all sorts of information. Plus there's all sorts of different information. How to use Pinterest, how to sell better, we basically just went out and interviewed every expert we could get our hands on outside of just our No Pants universe, brought in their intelligence, brought in their wisdom, and now you have access to all of that. We want to give you the biggest, broadest, best picture because that's finding your path through this thing called building a business. That's your best chance at being successful. Not copying what somebody else is forcing you to do, but finding your way. So we're going to try and help you do that. So here's what to do next. If all of this sounds really, really good to you and you're thinking, man, that's a really good thing, I'd love to get involved in this. If you implement everything that I just shared with you, naturally you're going to see results. Everybody who has implemented what I've taught has seen really, really incredible results. So that's why you should invest in the program. And so it's just $14.95, again, 50% off for the next 5 or 6 days. And all you have to do is just go to the nopantsproject.com/start to get going. So you're protected by a 30-day guarantee, and we're going to help you find your superpower. We're going to help you to create best-selling offers. We're going to help you to create clear messaging around those offers. We're going to help you to build an automated client getting system, and we're going to help you add leveraged income opportunities and mindfully scale towards peaceful profits. So if you want to create a service that clients really want to pay well for, if you want to do it and not, just spend 20 minutes a day in the client getting faucet, getting those clients. If you'd also like to add leveraged income and design your income purposely so you can design your lifestyle, then I would really, really, really deeply consider the No Pants Project program as compared to every other potential course you could ever buy. Because I can promise you for $14.95, you are not going to find a program that includes a team of coaches to help you through the process. It's just not going to happen. And there's reasons why. A lot of them are financial reasons. I can tell you I spend a significant amount of money to keep those coaches in the program. Because the No Pants Project for me is a passion project. I don't need the No Pants Project. I don't need to be sharing this information. I have a fiction business. I have a freelancing business. I've got, kids. I've got other stuff going on, right? I don't need to be doing this. And so that's why we've really, really tried to stretch the resources that we have to make this as an entry-level offer at only $14.95. Like you can go test you're looking at starting at $5,000 for what we typically offer, or what we're offering you right now, and what we typically charge $3,000 for. And we've tried very, very hard to make this the absolute most helpful program, which is why we're the #1 program for freelancers in the world right now. So you go to nopantsproject.com/start to get started. Again, 50% off only for the next 5 or 6 days. So I want to take a look at some success stories, because the most important thing when you're considering investing in education is what are the results of this education. So this is Justin Boyer, really cool guy. When he and I first met, he was a programmer. He thought his superpower was something. We helped him to work on it and to refine it to something that was even better, solving a bigger problem that he hadn't really even considered. Within the first 2.5 weeks of being in the program, he closed his first $5,000 per month retainer, and he now is on the 6-figure path to freelancing. Okay? So this is one of those situations where had he tried to do it by himself, he likely would have gone down a road where he wasn't, he wouldn't have gotten the critical feedback to help him find a superpower that was right for him. Because he did join and get that feedback from the coaches, he was able to very, very quickly earn really good money, in my opinion, very, very quickly. Kip. Kip's story was, for me, really pulled at my heartstrings, because when I first met Kip, she had already been a successful freelancer with her husband. They had owned a business together. Now, unfortunately, when they built their business in the traditional freelancing way, which is if you don't wake up and hustle your brains out and you don't do that 3 days in a row, you don't get to eat next week. And what happened is her husband passed away. And she was stuck with this freelancing business, and it was drowning her. And she was like, this is not what I wanted my life to be. And so the first thing that we did is we really helped to establish that balance by helping her with a client getting faucet that allowed her to get clients without that hustle. And so she went from 80 hours a week to traveling the world. I love her updates. She's the best. She's always talking about where she is now. And she's able to heal, if I may say so, heal from the death of her husband. Whereas before, she was, as soon as he died, just stress. Stress. No chance to really process what was going on. And so I'm very proud of Kip. She's absolutely incredible. She helps a lot of people, and I'm just very, very happy for her. Kristen is another one of those superpower moms, those power moms. She was working as a project manager, and she was also the mom of small children. So think about project manager in Fortune 500 companies. I don't know if she's Fortune 500, corporate America. Let me say that. Project manager in corporate America, working insane hours, constantly stressed, and trying to be a good mom. Within 2 weeks of joining the program, she had her first client. And from there, she was able to quit. I don't think much longer after that. When she used to spend half of her monthly paycheck on childcare, now she just has a very flexible freelancing business that replaced her job income, but isn't replacing the hours. So she's working much less, so she doesn't have to pay daycare. It's like one of those, I don't know if you guys ever saw that blog post or this article or something, I can't afford to outsource my wife or something like that, right? I was talking about how expensive it is, how it actually is very, very expensive for a family of two to both be working. That's like very expensive. So the way that she solved that problem is she started a freelancing business. This is Jessica. You've met Jessica. Again, Jessica is just an amazing person. She used to be a PR professional. Then she stayed home and to raise the kids. And she loves yoga and she likes all sorts of different passions and things. But she really wanted to help her husband because they wanted to buy a new house. I mean, I think they wanted to do a big move that changed their life, get out of the ruts they were in. And so she started a freelancing business. And again, within 2 weeks of being in the No Pants Project, and she'll tell you the story, she was able to combine her love of yoga and her love of content and her love of PR into solving really big problems for her passion clients. And that allowed her to help and assist in buying the home for her and her husband and her kids. So again, I'm telling you these stories so that you can see, one, that our stuff works and it just keeps working, but also that this is, I don't want you to buy this thinking that the whole goal is to work your brains out and, never have happiness again. And everybody who owns a business is miserable. This is all about peaceful profits. This is about figuring out, like, a big reason why I have the coaches in the program is because we do a lot of helping people figure out what their individual path is in implementing the stuff that we have. Because everybody's story is different. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's lifestyle desires is different. Jessica and Nina and Alex are different people at different stages in their life. And that's why we have the coaches. That's why we have the curriculum built the way that it is. Now, I want to show you what it's like inside of our coaching group. This is a typical day inside of our coaching group here. So May's posting about she got the Society of London Theaters. Jennifer's posting about how somebody reached out to her to write blog posts. This is very common. Our people don't go looking for clients. Clients come to them. Kirsten got her first official paying clients. Andrea got a bid in discussion, paid her invoice yesterday within 15 minutes. Nikki landed a client at the Freedom Number. For us, Freedom Numbers are about $100 an hour. And she's getting $100 an hour-ish, for a photo shoot. So she's a photographer. We figured out how to help her find a superpower that would pay for her Freedom Number. Leslie, hired to shoot photos and videos in Chicago last weekend. The clients were amazing. It was our first time charging our increased rates. And not only did they pay our rate, but they covered our travel, hotel, food, everything. Remember what I talked about very, very early in the beginning of this presentation? I said to you, look, if you don't have clients who are paying for stuff and who are giving you these additional perks, you're not freelancing right. This is one of those examples. This is Leslie who got the travel and hotel and food and everything covered. Okay, so, and then of course she's meeting with another dream client later that week. It's typical. This is how things work in the No Pants world. It's clients are coming to you all the time. You don't have to be out there hustling all that much. Well, not hustling at all, but what I mean by hustling is like doing a whole bunch of stuff to get clients. It's what's the minimum you need to do to get clients? Do that, automate it, and move on and start adding value to people's lives. Here's another example. Samax telling us that he made $1,000 in 5 days. Chris Vacano saying, I just got the green light on a $9,000 website and business infrastructure deal. There's no way I could have even imagined this before joining the No Pants Project. Hudson saying, who has 2 thumbs, lovely curly hair, and just secured her first writing client. Stanley, most of the income I've earned this past year and a half has been possible because of word of mouth and Mike's 5-day challenge. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I feel like maybe the tone I have here is a little sort of just like, oh yeah, just more success. It's important for you to, in all things that you do, think about the mentality that you carry with you. In our world, this is normal. In our world, this is normal. This is not a big deal. $9,000 jobs, $1,000 in 5 days, people being happy, getting treated well by this is normal. And so I don't want you to get the wrong idea that I'm somehow bored. This is just an average day. Like, this is what happens in our group. And just being around this, and this is why I'm talking about, this is why I brought up mentality, just being around this can make a difference in what you expect from yourself. And that change in expectation can be the catalyst to build the business that you've wanted to build. They say, show me your friends and I'll show you your lifestyle, or I'll show you your income, or I'll show you whatever. Being surrounded by people who are posting wins like this every single day is really, really valuable. That in and of itself is probably worth the price of the course, especially at the 50% off. Another example, Chris. Chris is super awesome. I got my first client last night. He paid the retainer fee for blogging while I was sleeping. He shares a hilarious meme. And it's like when you get that first client, he says, what, is this even real? That it's such a fun feeling. We really, really like that. Paul got his first client, and then again, Megan talking about Netflix. That was all sort of, this the typical stuff that happens. Every week we do our weekly recaps. So at the end of the week, our coach, Trish, who's in our mindset coach, and copywriting, she'll post all the wins that we had for a week. So for example, you see here, Justin over-delivered for his blog post client, and they rewarded him with a name your price retainer offer. Let's see, Joy has 2 long-term high-level clients, 2 very interested prospects and quotes in hand, and 3 new prospect phone calls. All 3 of them called her today. Let's see, Greg, who sold a $3,500 service. Let's go to another one here. Andrea, who landed her first retainer client ever in like 15 years of freelancing. Chris, who invoiced an extra $4,000 in August while still working a full-time job. He's only a quarter of the way through NPP. Sarah, who just booked her first 3 photography clients, etc., etc., etc. Let's see some more here. Let's see, Carissa and Rob launched their very first Lucky Cube ad set and got a sale like 0.035 seconds later. Got Kick Booty, Discovery Call, and on and on and on. This is what happens. We are a results-based company. And so the question is, are you interested? Are you ready? Do you want to join my growing list of successful freelancers? If you do, then all you have to do is go to the nopantsproject.com/start and sign up at the 50% off rate. That's the smart thing to do. You could wait until it's $3,000, but what will likely happen, and you and I probably both know this, you'll wait, and you'll wait, and you'll wait, and you'll wait, and you will never do it. And the situation that you're in now will be the situation you're in then. And you'll very likely think to yourself, man, if I just, when I felt that in my gut, that I should have done it, I should have done it. You're backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. We're here to help you and to serve you. We are an above-board company that we don't want your money if we're not helping you. So you literally have 0 risk. You have a lot to gain, but there's 0 risk for you taking a chance, joining our program, and seeing why we're the #1 coaching program for freelancers in the world. So really quick recap here. The complete package. #1 coaching team on the planet. I truly believe that. They're absolutely incredible. 12 modules of video training and templates and worksheets. And then these 7 bonuses. So you got the Fast Client Getting Workshop bonus, the 5-day challenge bonus. Both of those are built for you to get clients very quickly. Bonus number 3 is the Skills Builder mini course. So even if you aren't sure what you should do for a skill or for a superpower, we'll help you. We'll teach you how to do that. We'll give you some skills so that you can go out and rock the free world with your awesomeness. The Perfect Proposal, Client Getting for First Timers, Perfect Discovery Call script. These are all tools to help make it a very smooth process for you to get your first clients, to get multiple clients. And of course, bonus number 7 is the MPA archived access, which is access to all of those different experts and the recordings that we have from interviewing them, so you know how to set everything up. Insurance, accounting, business licenses, all that kind of good stuff. We also have flexible payment options if needed. The nopantsproject.com/start, you can see we have one-time payment of $14.95 or a 2-time payment of $8.95. So if all of this is sounding good and you're like, yep, this is definitely, I think that these guys can help me. I think having the coaches there and the curriculum, having that support group, being amongst all those people to raise my mindset, go to the nopantsproject.com/start. Choose a payment plan, join the program. Because ultimately what I want you to do, I want you to get in here and get results as fast as possible. I want you to hit the ground running. So go to the nopantsproject.com/start and go ahead and sign up. So if you want to create a service, if you want to spend just a few minutes a day selling that service, and you want to leverage that smart income to have some design and some control over your life, the nopantsproject.com/start is how to get started. So again, it's 50% off, but only for the next couple of days. Normally it's $3,000. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. I want you to consider something, because ultimately what we're talking about here is an investment in education. Now, I pulled some data from 2019 to compare what other investments in education you can make. Because if you're on this, you're probably looking for some kind of career change. Whatever it is you're doing right now, you're not satisfied with, and you want to do something else, for whatever reason that is. Well, the best way to do that is through education. And I am in no way knocking any of this education. I just want you to have a real-life comparison of the options that are available to you. So you can go to community college. It's going to cost you almost $10,000. It'll take 2 years, and the average income of a community college graduate is $41,000. 4 years, it's going to cost you about $40,000. So if you get a bachelor's degree at a public in-state college, Costs you about 40 grand. It's going to take you 4 years. Average income 55 grand a year. Or you go to medical school. It's $130,000 plus the cost of a bachelor's degree, so it's another $40,000. And you got to go to school for 4 years plus 4 years plus 3 to 6 years, depending on your residency or your specialty. So for a total of 11 years. And your average income will be about $192,000 as of 2019 data. Or you can join the No Pants Project, get lifetime access to all of the coaches in the program, and we can help you get multiple $1,000 per month clients. We can help you get clients very quickly, and it will only cost you $1,495. This is possible because we live in 2019. Or maybe you're watching this in 2020. This is possible because this is the new reality of how work is being done. By 2027, 50% of all American workers will be freelance. So you have to ask yourself, am I going to wait until then? When I won't have help? Or when help will be more expensive? Or am I going to take advantage of what's in front of me right now? Take advantage of the coaches. Try it for 30 days. If I don't like it, that's fine. And I'm going to take advantage of getting in early when things are easier. And I'm going to build that business that I've always wanted to build. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And comparing it against your other alternatives is important. Because, again, like I've said from the very beginning, that's the reality. That's what's real. Those are your options. To move from whatever situation you're in right now to whatever situation you want to be in work-wise, it has to do with education. You can do this kind of education, or we can help you. It's entirely up to you. So you've watched this entire presentation. You're still here 2 hours later. You want a freelancing business that works, and you've seen what prior students have achieved. Now is the time to make your move while you can still get it at the 50% off price. You can still get all the amazing bonuses, and you still have the 30-day prove-it guarantee. Remember, this is all the stuff that you're going to get for the one price. There's no monthly price, there's no tricks, there's no gimmicks. It's just one price to get all of this. For 50% off our normal price of $3,000, you can get it for $1,495 if you go to the nopantsproject.com/start. My dear friends, I hope that this has been a valuable experience for you. I hope that you feel that you have been given an insight into the difference between running a business that's based around peaceful profits, a business that is based around your life instead of trying to fit your life around a business or someone else's business. I hope that if you came here to figure out whether freelancing was for you, that you got that answer. If you came here because you were trying to figure out how do I get better clients, I hope that you found that answer. And if you came here to figure out how to leverage smart strategies to add passive income, I hope that you found that answer as well. Now, naturally, after something like this, you probably have some questions. There's two ways to have those questions answered. One, of course, is if it's something like a tech question or how does this work or, can I access a replay of this presentation or anything like that, please reach out to help@thenopantsproject.com. Otherwise, if you have questions about the program and you want to figure out whether it's a good fit for you, you want to ask questions about what are some of the things that we do inside of there or anything like that, if you go to the nopantsproject.com/start, there is a phone number that you can call. And when you call that phone number, you'll be connected, maybe not instantly, but you will be connected eventually. Meaning our team might have to call you back on a different day, just depending on what time of day you're calling, how many people are calling. Our team will give you a call back. It's no pressure. I purposely tell my team, let's what we call eat our own cooking, which is to say We don't teach our people to be high-pressure salespeople, so let's not be high-pressure salespeople ourselves. And they will answer your questions, whatever those questions might be. We have a fantastic track record of helping people to achieve incredible results very, very quickly. You're going to get access to an incredible group of coaches, a proven curriculum, and we've been around. I mean, we've been around for a few years. We've made our way up as a program to being the #1 freelancing program, training program, coaching program in the world. We're very proud of what we've done. And if you go to the nopantsproject.com/start, you can join us inside. We'd love to have you. We know that we're going to help whoever joins us, and we have confidence in that, and that's what allows us to do the things that we do. So, my dear friends, I hope that this has been helpful. Again, we'd love to see you inside the program. Otherwise, if you do join in the program, tag me, say hello. I would love to connect with you. Otherwise, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you around the interwebs.